walking up behind me, IFBB four-time Mr. Olympia champion, Mr. Jay Cutler. Welcome, Jay, to the Fit Expo. Thank you for your new Cutler Athletics. We love it, so we want to hear all about it, Jay.
Thank you. How's everyone doing out here? Here in sunny California, which I reside part-time between Vegas and LA. So it's a great pleasure to be out here once again and see all the fans and see a lot of new faces. I know a lot of people. Who's heard my seminar before in this crowd? A few people. So I've spoken at the Fit Expo since it started. So I've been here quite a long time. Makes me get older every year. The hardest part. And obviously, we've changed places. I mean, this event used to be taking place in Pasadena, and now, of course, downtown LA. And it's seemed to be growing every year, so that's really great. I'm here representing my brand, Cutler Athletics, clothing brand, which is one of the many things that I do these days. And I've been a competitive bodybuilder for over 20 years. I started training back in 1991, and I was 18 at that time. So I just had my 40th birthday last year, and now I'm in the 40 club. So it's a little different as a bodybuilder. A lot of you guys that know that might be over 40 years old or getting close to it gets a little more difficult to stay on track. And of course, life takes many journeys, and that's the one thing that I'll touch upon today. Of course, answering any of your questions. I know many people have to have questions out there, right? I want everyone to feel free to ask the questions, but for me, bodybuilding has given me something that I never ever planned. I never planned to, number one, be a professional bodybuilder, never mind a Mr. Olympia, and traveling the world and seeing many cultures and meeting so many people, influencing people, and along the way winning as many titles as I have and becoming as big as I have. Actually now, a lot of people see me this weekend and they say, wow, you're really big in person, but I was actually a lot bigger before. I've actually downsized quite a bit to focus more on the business side of bodybuilding, not focusing as much on the training. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. I competed in the Olympia 2013. I did not win, which I predicted I would. I was beaten by a number of guys, including Phil Heath, who's going to get up here and speak after me. I battled the former Ronnie Coleman, of course, who just spoke ahead of me. And we had some great battles over the years. And between 2001 and 2007, I placed second to him too many times, and finally won in 2006, which is probably looked upon as the pinnacle of my career, because I've been second at the Mr. Olympia 6 times and I've won 4. So for 10 years I was first or second in the world, which looks great on paper, but to be honest, second place is like the worst place you can be in a bodybuilding show, because you're so close yet so far away. And what I try to tell everyone now, even I promote a lot of events around the country, a lot of Jay Cutler shows between Vegas and Massachusetts, where I'm originally from, Wyoming, Maryland. I promote all over the place now, and I try to tell everyone it's not necessarily about the hardware, winning the first place trophies. It's about getting up there, personal achievement. I think in the beginning that's really what kind of drove me, is I just wanted to get up there and I wanted to look a certain way. What I didn't realize is that every year I wanted to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was never good enough until I won the Mr. Olympia title. Obviously I was satisfied, but then I wanted to win more. I wanted to win, not only one Mr. Olympia title, then it became 2. And my ultimate goal was 3. I ended up winning 4. I kind of wanted to win 5 after that, and it hasn't happened yet. So I don't know what the future holds. I don't the smartest thing to do when I said I was retired about 10 times already. So just to give you guys a little detail on my life, which you probably don't know, I'm the youngest of seven kids, 3 brothers, 3 sisters. I'm the biggest one in my family. My dad's 84. He's still very active every day. He runs around every day. And you know, he raised 7 kids, and I grew up in a small farming community in Massachusetts called Sterling, Massachusetts. 6,000 people in my town where I grew up, so it was rather small. Central Mass, about 50 miles west of Boston. Mary had a little lamb. That nursery rhyme, Mary had a little lamb, that was Sterling, Massachusetts. That was a real story. The lamb followed Mary Sawyer to school. So that's a little history for you guys. Myself, Mary Sawyer, a couple other people, like the famous people that came out of Sterling, Massachusetts. And for me, I was pretty active as a kid. I mean, I worked a lot. After school weekends, school vacations, I spent working while other kids went on vacation and enjoyed a lot of things. But I was taught a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, a lot of chores to do. And at the time, I kind of hated my dad and my brothers for making me work so much. But what I realized is it laid a great foundation for what I did in the future, and it gave me a lot of dedication and work ethic that later led to becoming so successful in being a bodybuilder, because it does take a lot of dedication and commitment. And everyone sitting in this crowd who's committed to working out understands that it's not just going to the gym, it's having the proper sleep patterns and eating patterns. And I know a lot of people think that because we're portrayed in the magazines as such these great role models and we follow everything perfectly, and that's what it takes to become someone like myself and achieve the ultimate titles. But it's not always that way for a lot of us. I travel and I have a strict schedule, and it wasn't always easy. I had to find my own way, and when I was younger, I didn't really have a proper way to eat. I didn't follow too much guidance other than the magazines back then. We didn't have the internet, so I learned a lot through picking up magazines at the gym or watching people work out. I was fortunate enough to hire a nutritionist at 18, which taught me a lot how to eat, meal plan, and I eat every 2.5 hours, and continually grow and process into what eventually was my absolute best. And I think that led over to what I try to preach to a lot of people nowadays is it just takes a lot of dedication to get your body fit and reach personal goals. I think a lot of people have a hard time committing to diet, nutrition, what they eat, how they eat, frequency of meals, which even if you're just a normal person not working out like a Jay Cutler, you still need to follow the guideline of eating every 2.5 to 3 hours. Meal timing is obviously important. Your largest meals of the day should be your first meal of the day, the meal before you train, the meal after you train. So I always tell everyone to work their basis off that when they're trying to build a nutrition program. And the kind of foods you eat, I mean, it changes a lot. I mean, I try to stay on a similar diet year-round. When I get ready for competition, I eat a lot more low-fat protein sources, but I try to stick to the basics. And I eat pretty much the same thing for the last 20 years. Morning, I have a meal 1 through 6 or 7, and I frequently eat every 2.5 hours as the ultimate goal. And I think that's important for anyone. 2.5, 3 hours, keep your metabolism up and keep your body burning. When I started training, I was kind of coaxed into competing. I wasn't really sure if I really knew what competing really was. Shaving down your whole body and throwing on that fake tan and getting up under lights, in those small posing trunks, I was really nervous about doing that. And I was really scared. I mean, anyone that's competed and sitting here watching, it's pretty nervous to get up there and in front of a crowd, and you're not sure if you're gonna look stupid or do something like stupid. But it's all all a learning process. I mean, at one time, Jay Cutler did his first bodybuilding competition, and I was really scared. Even by the time I got my pro card, I remember going to guest pose at a lot of events, and I'd be scared. And I always try to tell everyone that, you know, you do as much as you can to get in the best shape you can and present yourself the best way on stage. And don't be afraid of what the bad things. You know, think about just being confident, getting up there, and if you look the best you can possibly look, it's going to be really fun. And I fell in love with competing. As soon as I was up on that stage, you know, the crowd was cheering, and I looked down in the audience, I saw my mom there, and my sister that, you know, supported me in the very beginning, and it really gave me motivation to continue. And you know, I became the best as a teenager at 19, and I was able to you know, take the time and work my way into the men's division, and work my way through the ranks until I earned professional status at 23 years old, and you know, moved through competitions in the pro ranks and worked my way from the bottom all the way, you know, to the Olympia stage. And I finished second to last out of my first Mr. Olympia, which was very disappointing. But I knew I could be better, and I didn't give up. And I always try to tell people nowadays, it's you know, sometimes you got to get knocked down in order to work harder to become better. And that was definitely one of those experiences. I know a lot of people may read the magazines or look online and think that, well, you know, Jay's career is valued at winning Mr. Olympia titles, but we all had to start from the bottom in order to get, you know, up on the top of the Olympia stage and compete with the best. And along the way, I've met a lot of great people, and I've had a lot of experiences talking with people and traveling the world. And the stories that I've heard, I mean, besides all the titles and all the great things that have happened financially in my life, from bodybuilding and other ventures inside this business, the greatest gift that's been given to me is people that come to these expos and say, you know what, I read an article, or I was able to shake your hand at an event X amount of years ago, or whatever, where they had some sort of connection to Jay Cutler, and I changed their lives for the better. In the beginning, that's what I never thought about whatsoever. I never thought, wow, I want to be someone that's going to influence people and help them become better people themselves. And I always tell everyone at my age now, that's the greatest gift that I could have is to influence people to become not necessarily a professional bodybuilder, because times have changed a lot. People don't maybe not want to be someone like myself or as big as me. People say to me all the time, I don't want to get as big as you. I said, you can anyway, so it doesn't matter. Or I love, oh yeah, I have a son, he's 16 years old, he's your size. I'm like, I get that all the time. My son's your size. But it's really, really great to come to these kind of things, and then, you know, through emails and the way I can contact people from all around the world now. I didn't have that in the beginning. I used to handwrite letters to all my fans and stay in touch that way. And now with the emails and internet access, it's amazing. The outreach is worldwide, and I feel our business is continuing to grow, and I'm booked to go on international travels throughout the year a lot more than I ever was. But I'm always trying to stay true. I mean, I mentioned maybe not competing again, but I'm always going to be active and be accessible to the fans and reach out to everyone to try to give them, you know, a guideline or give them hope or give them something to look at as a positive thing. And that's something that I really like to do now. So rewinding back, you know, I had the chance to retiring at that point, and I thought I was pretty much retired. And I was able to start training again. It took me about a year to feel better. I had a torn bicep, and I had the surgery, and I had it fixed. I came back and started training more, and I felt pretty good. I planned to make a comeback. And last year when I was here, I spoke about coming back and competing in the 13 Olympia, which I did. I finished 6th place, which was my worst placing in 13 years, I think, since I was in 1st or 2nd at that Olympia. And it was hard. It was hard to come back. I mean, a lot of people that have faced injuries before, setbacks. I never experienced that in my career. I always thought I'm never going to get injured. I've gone this far in my career. I've picked up numerous crazy poundages and weights, and I pretty much I considered a smart trainer. Just a brief one day, I went to the gym, went to pick some dumbbells up, tore my bicep off my shoulder, and that was pretty much the end of my career as far as I see it, because I was never the same after that. I was kind of scared to train in the gym. Couldn't pick up the weights that I used to pick up even after having the surgery. I never felt the same. And I tried to train like that for this year's, last year's comeback. And of course, the results weren't what I expected. I think I probably sat up here and predicted I was going to win it last year. And, looking at that contest, I mean, I came back because I felt like I could. And number 2, the fans gave me a lot of motivation to do that. So I want to thank everyone for the support for last year. It was awesome to get back on stage, and I really had a fun time. I said during the contest, I said, this was the best Mr. Olympia I ever competed in after I received 6th place, because I just had a lot of fun. And with pressure, not being the champion was really nice, and sometimes the stresses of that can really tear on you a little bit. And since all that, I mean, a lot has transpired in my life. I've now launched a supplement brand, Cutler Nutrition. I've worked with the clothing, of course, and I still hold many endorsements to the injury, the industry of fitness. I do the promotions of all the bodybuilding shows, like I mentioned. So I'm out there a lot, doing a lot of activity, and I'm spending less time in the gym. Lately, I've been in the gym probably 4 days a week. Most importantly, I wake up in the morning, I do cardio and try to, at least do 30 minutes in the morning of fasted cardio, so I don't eat anything before I do that at home. And then I do my work through the day, and sometimes I'll get to the gym at night, and sometimes I don't. So for the first time in my life, I'm actually looking at my life on somewhat of a normal level, which a lot of people here can relate to, because I consider myself, I have many jobs, even though I'm kind of my own boss. I have a lot of commitments through the day. So I'm finding it difficult to eat my meals and train properly and do the things that I've done for the past 20 years. And I've had so many people over the years come up to me and ask me, how do you stay dedicated? How can I work a job and continue to train and make progression, whether it's trying to lose weight, gain weight, get leaner, compete on some sort of level, some sort of competition, whether it be bikini or bodybuilding, men's physique, fitness, whatever it may be. And I'm finding that very difficult. I'm finding a hard time adapting to that new lifestyle of working all the time and still fitting in all the meals. But I try to cook my stuff ahead, and luckily for me, I do have that kind of structure. But I always suggest to everyone that's trying to follow a program, you have to focus on your food. That's the most important thing. If your diet isn't set, you're kind of wasting your time in the gym. So for me, I try to cook my meals ahead of time, or I have them, prepared, so I can at least eat 4 of my meals a day that have already been prepared, and then maybe fill in the gaps with some other meals. I usually eat out at least 1 time a day, which you can find many restaurants to cook your meals. And when I travel, it can be extremely difficult. Coming to this expo for the day, the food isn't the best here to try to eat. No knock on the Fit Expo's kitchen over here, but they're not really adapted to the bodybuilder menu of clean rice and chicken and usually even at my peak was only training about an hour at a time. I tried to get in the gym at least an hour a day. I could usually knock out what I needed to do. People think we train like 4 hours a day as a bodybuilder. I mean, yes, you spend 4 hours in, between all the time you eat and work out, but they think that we just work out for 4 hours straight, but that's not necessarily true. I mean, there were times I trained twice a day. I mean, I did cardio twice a day, so I was in the gym maybe 4 times a day. But most of the time in the off season, I trained once and that was it. Like I mentioned, I have my cardio at home, so I'm able to do that there. But anyone that's trying to, get in shape, I tell them to focus mainly on the diet anyway. And eating clean rather than overdoing their workload, trying to do too much cardio or try to train too much. And I train each body part once every 72 hours, so I get a common question, can I train my arms 3 times a week? I don't suggest that. Make sure you give your body 72 hours of muscle to train it again. I usually did body parts once a week. So once every 5 to 7 days, I train each body part. Very rarely did I double up. I mean, I just don't have the recovery rate. A lot of people don't. So who's got a question for me? I know there's some training stuff out there. I know we got a microphone here, and I think right next to you. So let's get a couple questions in here. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, my name is Spencer. Whose physique do you admire, past and present?
Jay Cutler. In the beginning, I read the first book I ever read when I was 16. I read a book called Beyond Built by Bob Paris. A lot of people sitting here may not remember who Bob Paris was. Others may. I know, Robert, you know who Bob Paris is, right? He had more of a classic physique. I mean, of course, I admired Arnold at the time. That's how I started. He was in the movies. And I actually watched like Sylvester Stallone and Van Damme movies a lot. I admired those physiques, even though they're small on the standards of bodybuilding. And I'll tell you a big cool story is, I won the Arnold Classic 2004. And I was walking in Morton's to get a steak after the show, and this guy comes up to me and he says, "Hey, I got a fan that wants to say hello to you." I said, "Okay." And I try to stop for everyone. I really refuse to talk to anyone. So he brought me over, and there's a limousine parked out in front of Morton's, and the door opens, and there's Sylvester Stallone, And it was crazy because I used to watch the Rocky movies and Rambo and all that stuff, and he says, "Hey man, I'm a fan," or whatever. And I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy. And the same thing happened with Van Damme. I used to watch all his fighting movies, and I was walking across the parking lot of Gold's Venice one year. I was out here training, and this guy, yells, "Jay, Jay," look over, and I don't recognize him. As he's walking towards me, I'm like, oh, I kind of recognize who this guy is. It was Van Damme, the same thing. He said, "Jay, I'm a big fan of yours." So it's just crazy the way it happens, and you look at certain people, but I admire those guys pretty much, and the physique and the dedication to look that way. That's pretty much how I got started.
Jay, my name is Sam. I had a question about carbohydrates. Now, I know myself, I watch your videos, I'm seeing you go shopping at Costco, and I try to follow your routine. And I want to know, I've tried the whole starch carbohydrates after a workout. I feel a lot better after I eat vegetables. I just feel like my body's still burning fat. What are your suggestions about that, from insulin resistance and whatnot?
You know what? I can't relate to not eating carbohydrates after I train. That's usually my largest meal of the day. And what I try to do is after I train, I take a quick carbohydrate to restore glycogen, because as a bodybuilder, number one, you need energy to train, right? But more importantly, to keep muscle size, you need glycogen in the muscle. And that's what's you're gonna lose a lot of glycogen when you train. That's kind of what happens. So you need to replenish glycogen quick. Everyone thinks, oh, you have a protein shake after you train. That's sufficient. I feel that you need both. So you need something that's gonna get in there quick. So that's why a lot of people have like a whey protein filled with branched chain aminos, and then they have like a sugary, what I call a sugary, or something that's really quick in your body. I prefer like a Gatorade or something like that, where you can really get a quick burst and then eat like within an hour after that. I would say anyone that weight trains directly, not necessarily cardiovascular, but weight trains, needs to restore make it too quick, and I think ideally it's quick carbs like such as Gatorade or there's different products in the market that have carbohydrate starch to them.
Now, what about throughout the day from when you're cutting down? Are you still taking starches or?
You know what? It really depends on when your training schedule is. A lot of people say, well, should you cut your carbohydrates later in the day? The problem is if you're a late trainer, which a lot of people are because they work during the day, they go to the gym after 5 o'clock. You can't cut your carbohydrates and work around your training that way. Yes, if you train earlier in the day, you can taper off your carbohydrates as you go. That's probably the perfect way to do it. But what I suggest is, remember, the first meal of the day, the meal before you train, the meal after you train should be your highest calorie dense meals of the day. Those 3 meals. So depending on when that is, those have to be your highest calorie meals. A lot of people train after that first meal. I train usually after about 4 meals. So I have a really big breakfast, 2 or 3 meals in between that are moderate. And then I, have a burst before I train and a big burst after I train. And then I might taper down. Okay, and there's really no best time. Everyone says, what's the best time to train? It really what fits into your lifestyle. I mean, people say, oh, okay, your growth hormones naturally level, higher in the morning, not necessarily at night. I never believed in all that. I think that you really have to fit into your schedule. A lot of people get tired at night, but the problem is a lot of people tend to get home from work and then they just eat a ton of calories and sit on the couch, and that's where you get issues of people starting New Year's resolutions. I'm going to start going to the gym in that last 2 weeks, and then that's it for the next year, So it really depends on your body type. Okay. We got a couple mics here, so. Yes, sir.
What's up? I know you. I seen you a couple times, and you said that you, if you're not nutritionist now, right? I'm just going out. So what if you like 6, 7 times a day, and you have work or whatever, and you forgot to bring some of your meals, and you just can't get, let's say, a meal. You prefer not eat or eat something unhealthy?
Well, unhealthy in moderation, or it really depends on what your real goal is. I mean, looking at yourself, if you're speaking on yourself and you're not overweight and visually, I would say eating something to keep your metabolism up. Now, just don't go to the extreme. The problem is people say, well, I don't have anything to eat, so I'm going to order a pizza, and they eat the whole pizza. Have 1 slice or 2 slices just to get you over so you can get the meal after that. But ideally, don't try to leave your food at home. Try to find something healthy. And the thing is you can really find anything healthy no matter where you go. I travel all around the world, and I try to make sure before I plan, okay, if I don't have food, is it going to have hotel food? Am I going to have restaurants close by? I research all that stuff. I mean, the internet's very, very handy nowadays. I mean, iPhones, it tells you all those things. So you try to just stay ahead. Don't make excuses. That comes down to making poor excuses why you can't stay on your diet. You understand? You need to just really dedicate yourself. And you're right. It's like trying to run a car on no gas. How are you going to go to the gym and train and not fuel? How are you not going to run on any gas? Yeah. So the diet has to be intact. Okay. Any other questions? I mean, I really stress on all the talk about the diet because 21 repetitions in order to just tone. I'm not trying to really build my abs because obviously muscle size around your midsection isn't good for what we try to do. And I wasn't blessed with the smallest waist either. I mean, you get a lot of involuntary ab work when you're training because obviously it works your core a lot. So for me, I focus on like 20 repetitions for every ab exercise and zero weights if I can help it. I usually do leg lifts or sit-ups, or if I do like rope crunches, I use a lightweight. There's a lot of breathing and squeezing. But remember, your abs aren't going to show unless your diet is, your body fat is low enough. And usually that's around like 5%, 6%, or lower, that your abs are really going to show. Okay. Yeah, not as many people talk about, they look at us and say, okay, well, it must be an advanced training program to get where we get. I always keep it very, very simple. I mean, I started by working off the basis of the squats and the deadlifts and the bench presses. And even for the women sitting in this audience that think, okay, well, Jay Cutler's up here talking about how he got big and won Olympias, but it all works in conjunction. I mean, you may not want to look like me. You can't look like me anyway, but you may not want to look like me, but we all follow kind of the same routines. And I always prefer to train each body part once every 5 to 7 days. So I would pick back one day would be chest, one day would be arms, one day would be legs. And I would usually train each body part for like an hour at a time. I was necessarily a high volume trainer, so basically that means I picked like 5 or 6 different exercises and I did 3 or 4 sets of each one. I always kept my rep range around 10 to 12 repetitions. So I was what they call a high volume trainer. I didn't just go in there and do 9 sets total and get out of the gym. I like to really hit the muscle from a lot of angles, work really on the pump, not about how much weight I actually push. So I can watch the muscles expand and then get out of the gym and feed the muscles. I mean, that's ideal for bodybuilders. So anyone that, after this, I'm going to be at my booth, anyone that comes up to me and says, how much do you bench press? I'm going to lie and tell you like 750 or something like that, but that has nothing to do with what we do for bodybuilding. I mean, I've never really maxed out, to be honest, because I never wanted to risk injury. And I tend to work out with a certain amount of weights, but I never really get focused too much on the numbers. Yes.
Hi, Jay. Kelly. You're a huge inspiration, so thank you. How often do you switch up your training routine so you're not plateauing, and what do you do to progress your training?
You know what? I've switched a lot through my career with training. I try to work on like a 12-week cycle. So I work and look at progression in 12 weeks. And obviously, doing this for 20 years, I've gotten bored so many times lifting weights. To be honest, I mean, now that I'm not focused on competing this year, it's a little harder for me to get in the gym and train, especially with the intensity that I train. And I tend to find myself that guy that it comes, 6 or 7 o'clock, I worked all day, and I'm like, you know what, the gym's not looking like the best thing I want to do tonight. And I think what you need to find is, okay, how is it working? If it's continuing to work and you're not bored, and keep it the same. But if you feel like you need a change, you might switch it up. I seem to find that if I train more than 2 days in a row, I get overtired, I actually go backwards, or I just get really bored. So I need a day off in between 2 days. So I used to train like on a 2-day on, 1 day off, and then I maybe train for 3 days and then take another day off. A lot of people train 5 days a week, like Monday through Friday, take the weekends off so they can enjoy time with family and friends. It really depends on what your schedule is and what your ultimate goal is. The problem is when you're trying to get in really crazy shape, there's no days off. So the days that you're not training with weights, you still should be doing your cardio and you're still eating your meals. And that's what's hard about professional bodybuilding compared to other sports, or I hate to call it a sport because I consider it more an art form, but dedication type activities is you have to progressively, and that's, people ask, how do you get so big? I said, well, it's 20 years of the consistent day in, day out. So you have to have some sort of game plan. So when you hit plateaus, I mean, you're always going to look for change, but it's really what fits you the best in your work schedule and your lifestyle schedule and what you're willing to commit to. usually your chest is like the highest point of your body, and really work on the contractions, so with the movements. Steady pace, 10 to 12 repetitions. The science is very, very easy. I think that people overcomplicate things a lot. So it's really just time number one, okay? Week in, week out, doing the chest training. I don't suggest doing it twice a week. I suggest, like I said, 72 hours rest, whatever works out every 5 to 7 days. And, work your way through there, but focus on weights. Don't worry about, how much you bench press or whatever. Just choose a weight that you feel that you can really get a good squeeze out of 10 to 12 repetitions and work your way from there. A lot of stretching. So what I like to do is a pressing movement, and then I like to fly, open up the tissue a lot. Then I go back to press, and then I fly it open. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a pump in there. I'm stretching out the fibers to allow more blood flow, pumping it up again with a pressing movement, and then, of course, stretching it again. That's going to work best. Now for your calves, okay, squats. Nothing's better than the squat. That means not squats like where you get on the bar and you do this like most of the guys do in the gym, right? I'm talking like ass to the floor squats. Okay, that's going to build your. This is for the ladies too. Every lady wants to have a nice glutes. I have to be proper here, but I think that's the best exercise. I mean, you see these butt blasters, all that stuff. I mean, lunges are real good when that's going to work your glutes a lot. But I guess that's important. A lot of people see your glutes every day, right? So good luck with that.
Are you using branch chain as a plan, or are you using just L-leucine?
L-leucine, I think, is a little exaggerated as far as they talk about necessary branched chain aminos. I think there's a combination of a lot of aminos, not just leucine. It's basically, that's what they thrive on advertisement for branched chain aminos. Leucine's needed for muscle repair and growth. And any supplement I use is mainly for recovery or performance. Okay, so if I was to take a pre-workout, most of my pre-workouts that I take, even in my branding, contain creatine and a little stimulant, which stimulants aren't necessarily the best for building muscle. It actually works against it, but a lot of people need that visualization and focus. Now with branched chain aminos, I'll use before, during, or after training only. So common times I take something before I train with some branched chains. A lot of times during, meaning intra-workout, okay, during, so I sip on it. Tastes better than water on, burning body fat.
All right, now to lacking muscles. What about, I destroy my calves in the gym out 2 to 3 times a week, and I know your calves all they need is a nipple, and you've got implants out there.
I had small calves when I started. I was very insecure about my calves because I had really big legs, but I didn't have big calves. So I found the best thing is to treat them like every other body part. So I trained them once every 5 to 7 days, heavy weights, 10 to 12 repetitions, and I focused on doing 12 sets. So I usually hit them on like chest. It was on my chest day. I would do calves, and I would actually do calves first in the routine. So if I was to do chest and calves on the day, I'd always start my routine to focus, give the focus to my calves. Standing calves, seated calves, donkey calves, whatever was available at the gym, and then I would start my chest training after that. So don't look at it like, okay, well I need to take so much time and put it into the calf training. I need to treat it like every other body part. And either you have them or you don't. I mean, some people are just never going to have calves. Okay? And I was told in the beginning, all your calves are too small, and then of course as I get bigger, it makes a lot of sense because you walk around, you don't realize how much you use your calves all day. So if you're going to do high repetitions, they're not going to grow, in my opinion, unless you're just genetically gifted. Some people don't have to train calves. Okay? Yes, sir. Protein. 1.25 grams per pound of body weight is what I suggest when you're trying to gain. Okay, at least a gram per pound of body weight. And that's not lean. I say body weight meaning, unless you're extremely overweight. I try to focus on basically 1.25 grams. That's really what I've done pretty much for my career, even in the dieting days. Okay.
Pretty much keep it the same year round.
Pretty much the same. Okay. I always did moderation, carbohydrates, protein. That's why I wasn't one of these guys that dieted strictly on protein and a lot of vegetables. I actually ate a lot of carbohydrates. Yes, sir.
Hey Jay, Jordan Walker. Buddy of mine, he has an extremely high metabolism, and he eats about 42,000 calories a day, but still has trouble gaining weight and sustaining it. Right? Any tips on sustaining heavy weight?
Eats how many calories a day?
42,000?
Impossible.
I mean, 4,200. There you go.
It scared me for a minute. I thought he was on like an IV drip or something. Hope must be a friend. So, you want to know how, to get that much calories, or?
Yeah, he has a hard time.
He has a fast metabolism.
Yeah.
I mean, what I suggest if someone's eating, a sufficient amount of meals and eating that many calories, you're going to start adding good fats in there, like avocados or almond butter. When I dieted, a lot of times I would get super lean. I'm eating 5,000 calories a day. I mean, I dieted sometimes on 1,000 carbs a day, even on a contest diet. I was one of the biggest eaters out there on the level that I was at. And for me, adding the fats in there, like the almond butter or the avocados, some nuts or whatever, that really helped kind of halt my metabolism a little bit and help me continue to gain. Because if your metabolism gets too fast and you're taking a lot of calories, sometimes it's just burning through those calories. You can eat something to halt it up. So sometimes fats, that's where I only suggest putting fat in your diet when your metabolism's too fast. Otherwise, I really don't focus on a lot of fat in my diet. I really just focus on carbohydrates and protein. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir, little man. You're 12. So you're 12 and you want to start lifting weights and you're not sure if that's okay.
No. Do I do body weight or do I lift?
Body weight, not weights. I think at 12 it's a little early to start. You can use bands, the rubber bands. You can use those, or you can do push-ups, you can do your sit-ups. You can squat without weights.